Welcome to Breakfast with Spaniels with Dr. Judy Morgan.
Picture of Millie. It's a cute picture of Millie.
Oh.
I was looking at new grandchild number 2, Millie. Very cute. Just wish all our kids lived in the same area and we could just smoke babies all day.
Remember, you can purchase all of Dr. Morgan's products at her website at www.drjudymorgan.com. Now it's time to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
New retirement time. Yeah, what time? I don't even know. 8:43. I don't even know what time it is. No, we've actually been up. I've been up since 4:30. Just it's going to rain later, so we did our long daily walk early this morning and did the barn work and blah blah blah. Great topic. We were just at the vet yesterday for a wart, of course. So it reminded me because one of my consults yesterday, one of the problems was the dog is getting papillomas or warts all over the place, and their vet records, the vet had actually taken a picture of every one of them with measurements and written down where they were, which is great to do, so that you know where they are and whether they're getting larger. All right, this morning we have Latvia. Being a grandparent is the best. Yeah, you know, a bumper crop this year. Yeah, it was a bumper crop of kids. I can't say that I enjoyed the baby phase that much with my own kids, but when you're a grandparent, you can hand them back over. Except when Gwen leaves leaves me in charge by myself, and you know I'm stuck for 2 hours and kind of go, what do I do? It's fun though. It is fun.
We're allowed to sleep through the night.
Yeah, we get to sleep too. Although I don't sleep anyway, I might as well stay up and help Gwen. Anyway, so warts in dogs are papillomas, and they actually are a papilloma virus. We see in young puppies sometimes whose immune systems are not very good, warts around the mouth and on the tongue and inside the mouth. And they're basically self-limiting, just like kids with warts. They disappear as the immune system gets stronger. So generally what we do is we'll put them on an herb like the Abundant Chi that's on the website, make sure they're on a really good, clean diet, human-grade food, organic if possible. And at least in my practice, if they've got a crop of warts in their mouth or showing up on their body, we're not going to vaccinate at that time because we don't want to stress their immune system even more. We want their immune system to be able to react because all those papillomas are a sign that their immune system is struggling and not able to fight off that virus at the time. So in older dogs, I used to call them, before I knew about any of this, I used to call them poodle warts and cocker warts because when I first started in practice, I noticed very early on why all these old dogs come in, particularly old white dogs, and maybe we just see them better on old white dogs. Like in my mind, I picture white poodles and tan cockers with these pink raised bumps kind of all over them. And they can get big. Some of them can get to be a 1/2 inch wide, and they can be bumpy, and they can secrete a sebaceous material, which is like a waxy material. So sometimes the dogs will pay a lot of attention to them, particularly if they're on a front leg. They'll lick at them a lot, try to keep them clean. They can get infected, but generally they don't. But they're just a sign that the immune system is waning, that it's having some trouble with something. So basically, we need to help these guys homeschooling your 6 grandchildren. Yes, I am doing consults who I didn't see who said that? The dosing, Deb Trey Montana, is the same as the other. They're T-pills, so it's 1 per 10 pounds of body weight twice a day. So it's basically just a way to help stimulate their immune system. And I think that herb has astragalus and maybe Codonopsis in it. But this is where we use things like the mushrooms, the shiitake mushrooms. That's why they're in my recipes, because they help the immune system even out. The PEA that we started using a couple of months ago is also used to help even out that immune system and try to strengthen things to get things back under control. Colostrum is also very good for the immune system. That's in my wellness product. Or you could use a straight colostrum product. Try to find one that's from organically raised cows. That's really hard. For instance, when Myra was undergoing chemotherapy, we had put her, generally animals with lymphoma, she had lymphosarcoma, they're put on steroids along with their chemotherapy. And at the beginning, Myra was not eating well because she had had surgery and had a section of her intestine removed with the cancer. And so we were very nervous about giving her oral steroids, which can cause bowel ulceration after she had just had surgery. So we started with injectable dexamethasone, and dexamethasone is much stronger than prednisone given orally. And we ended up, because her cancer was so aggressive, we ended up keeping her on pretty hefty doses of dexamethasone for the entire 8 weeks from the time we diagnosed her until when she passed. But we absolutely wrecked her immune system. And she had a few warts. She was a cabochon, so Bichon's very, white fluffy dog, very prone to warts. And she had a couple when we started. By the time we lost Myra 8 weeks later, she probably had 1,000. We trashed her immune system and they took over. I sat with her in my arms for a few hours the night before we put her down, and I literally watched those warts pop up. I wish I had thought to put my camera on slow motion filming, because you would have been able over 24 hours to watch warts literally pop out of her body. It was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen, and truly illustrated that the immune system has a hard time when we use immunosuppressive drugs, cyclosporin, Apoquel, steroids. And one of the reasons we don't want to do that, why it's much more effective to use something like the plant sterols that are going to even out the immune system, not suppress the immune system. This consult that I did yesterday, the dog was struggling with some other issues going on, but the warts were just an indication that the immune system is way out of whack, and that dog's guts were way out of whack. And we know that 80% of the immune system is in the intestines. And if we're giving chronic doses of metronidazole, chronic doses of Thailand powder, those are antibiotics that are killing off the good guys in the gut. So we've got to get that straightened out. We've got to make that gut biome healthy again. Another consultation I did last week had done the animal biome fecal test to see what their dog's gut microflora looked like. And the dog had 0 in many of the categories. They're supposed to have, 20 different categories of families of bacteria in their gut in a healthy dog, and this dog had like 4. It was one of the worst biome tests I've seen. So we're trying to get that dog's gut back to functioning again so that the immune system can function again. So what about horses with warts? What causes this in young horses? The same thing. It's a papilloma virus, and it's their immune system. And young horses, same thing. And a lot of times we'll see them around the muzzle area. So it's just like the dogs that are getting the warts inside the mouth. So it's all about immune system, not stressing it with too many vaccines at the same time, not over vaccinating. Young puppies, particularly if they're coming from a pet store or a puppy mill, but even just coming from a breeder, they're in their group with their mama and their siblings, and then they're snatched out of there. And it doesn't matter how much you love them, it's still a shock to the system to go someplace new. When Gabby came here, she's 4 years old, but when she came, she had been in a family with a bunch of dogs and people that she was born and raised there. So when we brought her with us, as much as we loved her and cared for her and held her, it was a shock. And it took her a few days to kind of acclimate and say, oh, this is where I belong. Now she's got the routine down and she's very, very happy. But it is a shock to them to be moved out of what their environment was before. Whether that environment was good or bad, it's still a shock to their system, and their immune system is going to struggle with that. So, okay. Pea, shiitake, colostrum, okay to give the dog as a group. Yes, you can give them all together, not a problem. Fecal transplant worked wonderful for my girl. Yeah, yes.
I'm thinking that tomorrow night we will do a supporters so that I can test out all the equipment on.
Oh, Hugh wants, is adding plant enzymes okay to add as well as the mushroom blend? Yes. Hugh wants to do a supporters tomorrow night because we need to test out our equipment on Zoom for the summit this weekend. Don't forget, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday night, we have one event. That's me and Hugh. And then Saturday, I believe we have 4 interviews, and Sunday we have 3. It is going to be a phenomenal weekend with guest speakers that I am so excited about. So
yeah, this will be kind of a dry run for that.
So we'll do a dry run tomorrow night with supporters. Okay, I'll post a link.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody, have a wonderful day. See you tomorrow.